And welcome
Hey,
to
everybody.
Matrix Talk. We are here on February 1st, 2023, and we're going to talk a little bit about why many classrooms suck. Why it's not the teachers.
And it's not the teacher's fault.
Uh, and and a few people are online with us.
Yeah, cool.
And so keep plowing in there.
Yep.
This new camera, I think, Phil, it's more high definition.
Oh, definitely. You're coming through.
Yeah, I'm
clear.
seeing all kinds
Hey,
of
Jazz.
stuff. I got to clean up my
Hey,
background.
Jazz. Kevin's got a new camera. Check out his.
Yeah, I got.
He's all cleaned up now. Now he's going to have to really pay
I
attention.
got to clean up my back. Oh well. I bought those guitars 10 years ago for a backdrop, and
Hey, Stas.
hang in there. Oh, hello there.
Okay, Jazz says looking good.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. Same microphone. Phil and I both use a Blue Yeti.
How do you recommend it?
Highly recommend them.
Oh, there's a sorter from Memphis. Yay.
My sorter. Oh, sounds like a Matrix person.
I think it is.
I will just goof off for another couple of minutes.
Do a little housekeeping.
And people are already in the lower right coming in and telling us where they're from.
Yep.
Hey, thank you very
So
much.
if you're coming on and you're on, do what they're doing.
Yeah, so we got Russia and we got Memphis.
And we got Akron, Ohio.
Man, we're around. In the upper right, you can follow us. Love followers, hey followers. And right below us, you can click and join Patreon and have access to live Q&A events. And
Yep.
Sometimes we remember to make the Friday one a Patreon only.
Well, we are having a live Patreon Q&A on the.
That's coming up on the 21st.
Yeah, later in this month.
The only reason I know that it's on the green button.
And that's exactly why I'm paying attention to
Nice.
it. Oh, and if you do sign up for Patreon at the $10 page, I think that's the only one right now, you get our workbook, life coaching workbook.
Yeah, which is cool.
It's pretty cool.
So, Kevin, you look very sharp.
Ah,
Yeah, that's because obviously this camera is sharper than the old one.
sharp.
I don't know why. My old one was 9 years old. Gee, I wonder if the technology's changed in 9 years. Har, har, har.
I got a few more bells and whistles in there.
I'm in the midst, folks, of transferring because I run Apple products, but even they don't go much more than 9 years. Phil, you're out of date. Phil already ordered his.
It's winging its way to me. I'm picking up my display later today, and the Mini is coming, well, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. So we're doing that. So moving along. Well, 9-year-old machines. My fear was it was going to crash. And there's lots of stuff on there that I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
And
Well, mine's been threatening to give up the ghost for the couple of weeks. So
anyway, we're just going to switch over. So, and that's what Patreon. Click on that. It helps us pay for that kind of stuff, so we can keep doing this.
for paying for the sharpness that Kevin has right now. Oh, 104.
Yeah, we better get going.
Let's do it.
So we're talking about classrooms today, which Phil's going to do quite a bit of this because he's the classroom guy. He literally wrote a chapter in a book.
Yeah, somewhere back there. I did
The Matrix goes to school.
Yep.
And we'll get it. And he's also familiar with the underlying philosophical structure of at least the United States. I guess in the European, for the most part, European are the classroom settings that these things are embedded in, and that's what we're talking about. So,
Yep.
Well, we can say. I mean, before we get to the diagram, we'll say, why many classrooms suck.
Yes.
It's actually why most classrooms suck. we hedged on that one. It's most classrooms suck. They really do.
Yep.
But it's not the teacher's fault.
Nope.
So it's like, well, what do you mean? Isn't the teacher the Lord and patriarch or whatever, or a matriarch of the classroom?
There's another myth that we're going to bust.
Well, no, they're operating within another system.
Right.
And as we know in ACT, it's really important to know the underlying system and philosophy that's driving something, because that's really what ends up moving the ship, let's say. And so what you end up with is a fundamentally flawed system that results in mental health problems. So right now, what you hear a lot about is, oh my God, we have a mental health crisis in the schools. Quick, send in a whole bunch of
Mental health specialists
to fix that up.
Yep.
And it's like, well, that's treating the symptoms, yeah, but you're not treating the cause. Why?
It's a Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid.
It's Band-Aids. It's Band-Aids put on.
Yeah.
What's the cause? Well, so we'll get into it.
Yeah.
So Phil, what's the underlying fundamental structure?
Well, the underlying fundamental structure can be summed up in 3 words, and I'm going to give them to you right now.
Okay, we're ready.
Command and control.
Oh no, that's it. That's the underlying. That's nice, Phil. Yep, that's it. Command and control. And with those 3 words, so what do you mean by command, Phil? That means, like they say, gee, we're going to have a nice discussion about how things will evolve. Is that what you mean?
Nah, didn't really have that one.
No, they didn't have that in mind.
It's more of like it comes from on high and it's handed down to you, and then with the do this.
It's like a military command, right? It's do this or else.
Or, yeah.
And that's the problem, is even worse is the or else. And so, or else you're going to get in trouble. You're going to lose your job. We're going to give you all kinds of grief if you don't follow our commands.
Yep.
So,
things will not go well for you.
Yes. Your life will be miserable.
Yes.
And it really will be. I know many, many teachers. Phil knows even more.
Oh, yeah.
And they got a miserable life. Yeah. No doubt about
Yeah.
it. So this command and control, you're saying, well, isn't that business as usual? Well, sort of, kind of, yeah. But it needs to change.
Yeah.
Because of that command and control in the way, you're ending up with a whole lot of mental health problems. You're ending up with all kinds of problems that are coming. Because what comes after command and control? Well, the teacher turns around and commands the children what to do.
Yep.
And then the children don't all get it done.
Nope.
By any stretch of the imagination. So the word starts with a J. I'll give it to you. Judged. Negatively judged.
Yes.
And
most are judged the moment they walk in the door.
Yeah. And so even little kids know when they're being judged when they walk in the door.
Yeah.
They feel it in their bones.
They're being sized up.
Right. And they're being sized up as either cooperative little
worker bees,
worker bees that are going to do what they're told,
right?
The command, or are they nefarious humans that don't?
Yes.
And once they don't, they start getting labeled and they start getting judged. And look around you, folks. How many? They're all being labeled ADHD now. I shouldn't say all, but a hell of a lot are.
That's a big one.
And if they're not, they're a behavior problem, and notes go home. Tina was going to be with us, and she was going to share this horrible note that had come home from kindergarten, a note for one of her kids about how the kindergartner essentially wasn't doing her work.
Not keeping up.
Not, it was insane if you think about kindergarten. So back to it's like, well, the teacher needs to change. No, the underlying system that the teacher is within. So what our message is and will be is to send the message all the way to Washington, D.C. and above. And that's the only way this will eventually change. So you don't have the system running, an education system running on command and control.
Right.
Now, it comes from very worthy history.
Oh, yeah.
Command and control. Why? Because what was, Phil, I will ask you, I'll interview Phil. Phil, what was the education system in Germany and beyond first? What was it made for? What was it created?
Well, it was basically the Prussian system was created to make obedient citizens, basically, and also for military purposes.
Yep. It wanted obedient students, obedient,
unquestioning obedience.
Right. And so that education philosophy gets ported. What it got transferred into is, well, let's make really good worker bees.
Like Stas said, to prepare work for the state.
Right.
Yep.
So let's make very good, and a good worker bee is one that follows orders,
does what they're told,
and does what they're told. And if they don't, we're going to judge them unmercifully
until they do what they're told.
Right. And if they don't, then we'll
ixnay on them.
Right. We're
yeah.
going to do. And that is an extraordinarily stressful environment. And for whatever reason, we got away with it for decades and decades and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're not getting away with it
No.
now. That's the long and short of it, folks, is we are no longer getting away with that. And but here we go. This is why we put it's not the teacher's fault, because we get reports, and you see it in the news. The teachers hate it.
Yeah,
they hate what they're doing now. They hate it because, well, the command and control has snuck in, and especially with the testing that has come on board.
Oh yeah,
and so everybody has to teach to the test. And if your students don't make standard, you're going to, as a teacher, you're going to be punished.
So you're judged.
Yeah. So
kids are judged by the test. The teachers are judged by how they're teaching. The school is judged by how the kids are doing on the tests.
It goes all the way up. Right. So now a whole school system is judged, and their finances and stuff.
And that's tied to, yes,
how kids are doing on this test. And who the hell created the test? What test? Well, the tests are we producing cooperative little robots for our factories? The system is not developed to produce creative kids.
Right.
It's actually to kill creativity.
That gets in the way of command and control. That C word gets in the way of the other two C words.
It absolutely does. And so this is fundamental, folks. We're not talking where you're going to hand some, like the matrix diagram, which is great. And there's teachers who use it and have a good time. But then an administrator walks in the room and says, "What the hell are you doing?" "Well, I'm using this really cool, diagram." "Well, I don't like it," the administrator says. Here we go. Now we got a problem on our hands, right? And the administrator, I don't give a flip about that. Are they meeting the standards? And you'll hear about this all the time.
Yes.
Are the kids meeting the standards? Right. And if they're not, they're bad. and the teacher's bad, and the school's bad, and everybody's bad, and you have a bad kid who, if you talk to, doesn't seem to be a bad kid.
Never met one in all my years of working as a school psychologist. Never met a bad kid.
But they're labeled that way, and they're treated that way. And pretty soon they end up in this category of not wanted.
That's the key.
That's the key.
So they come in wanted. But somewhere along the way, they end up feeling not wanted.
Yeah, I'm not wanted here.
I have nothing to contribute.
And they quit, drop out, do all kinds of bad things. And in the worst case, they shoot up a school and stuff, because it's not wanted kids that shoot things up. It's not wanted adults that shoot things up. They are reacting to that. I've been cast out from the tribe.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to retaliate.
I don't belong here.
Right. From being cast out from the tribe, because the worst thing that can happen to any human is to be cast out from the tribe. That's it. We are tribal. We just are. And to be cast out like that, which is not wanted, cast out. We don't want you anymore. Bye. And so once you start getting those messages, well, now we're delivering these messages to kindergartners.
Oh, been doing that.
There ought to be a law against that. I'm serious. And it's horrible. I mean, when I went to kindergarten, I wasn't cast out and wasn't having to meet a standard or anything, or need to be able to read, write, and do arithmetic before the first grade. What is this? What's going on here? Well, the whole idea is they're going to be able to go to work when they're 14 or something. As
soon as they can.
Right,
we're preparing them for college in kindergarten.
Right. Well, it's a mess. So the command and control system, by the way, you folks may have guessed, is not the Matrix. And that's why you don't see the Matrix just picked up and flying about and being used all over the place, because the underlying structure, the underlying philosophy of the command and control philosophy takes one look at it and says, nope, we're not doing that.
This is not that. This is not that.
Yeah, this is not command and control. They may not be able to articulate that verbally the way I just did,
but they get it.
They get it, and they don't pick it up.
Oh no. Mm-mm.
But we know, Phil and I know this. We've been at this.
Got it into many places, and a lot of a lot of times that's what it comes down to. They take one look at it and go, "Ooh, now here's another C word. Let's throw another C word. This seems more collaborative."
And that's it. It is. And so what we show people using the Matrix is a collaborative. Well, that's the best
collaborative way of teaching and learning.
Right. It's just collaborative.
Yeah.
And you literally use it to collaborate with preschoolers. You collaborate with kindergartners. You collaborate with first grade. You collaborate always.
It doesn't matter.
You'll always collaborate. And it's the 180 degrees out of phase with the command and control. And anybody who, now we say, if you do not have if you're not a commander and a controller, then you're okay with this, with the Matrix, with this collaboration.
You pick it up, you go, oh, this is going to be useful, and you use it.
If you do have power, if you do have command, and you do have what you feel like is control, then you're going to go, I'm not so sure, because it threatens your power and control. It's that simple. We've been there, done this tons of times.
Thousands.
I can see it on their face.
Yeah.
These folks that have power, because they'll say, I'm the president, I'm the principal, I'm the superintendent, and they're saying it with this air of
Gravitas.
Gravitas, that's it, right? And they'll look at it and they'll go, "Oh, isn't that wonderful?"
Yep.
And then you'll notice that nothing ever happens after that.
Nope.
Because why? Because I need to go tell somebody what they need to do.
Yep.
And they're not going to command people to do this because it's going to. So anyway, we all, the people on this Crowdcast and beyond, have a big job ahead of us. And it's to get this command and control stuff out of the schools. Because next time you hear about a school shooting, about a first grader shooting their teacher or something and all that, well, you can blame it on the home life and all you want. Well, we can't do anything about that.
Nope.
But fundamentally, the structure of the schools is flawed.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. And it's command and control. And like Phil said. And so now, the way we do it is we show the matrix to a lot of people. And to think of it, if we say, okay, Phil, you have the power, go make people do it. Well, what did we just get into? Now we're commanding control.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you that you have to do this thing called the matrix.
Right. And even if we had the power to do that, we would now be guilty of the very thing we're railing against right now.
We would be co-opted by the system.
Yep. We would now be command and control freaks and be doing it. So we can't do it that way.
No.
But that is not an option. And we could go no worries. I'm one of those rare people that will have command and control, and I will only do good with it. You've seen this in the movies. No. It'll corrupt us.
Slowly but surely eat away at you.
It would eat away at it and corrupt us. So we don't want to be corrupted.
Nope.
So our way of doing it is to keep showing it. Just keep on beating it, showing it to classrooms, showing it to people.
Showing it to teachers, showing it to, the principal or the administrator.
We will. We have shown it to principals and administrators.
Superintendents.
And there's this isn't the only place you got major command and control. Look around. So like church leaders, that's major league command and control. Well, I've shown it all the way up to bishops.
Oh, yeah.
So I haven't noticed it being rolled out by them, but I showed it to them anyway. You get at it. You just got to chip away at it a bit at a time until you get this command and control thing into the water enough. I'm sorry, the matrix kind of thing into the water enough that it starts to counteract this command and control stuff, which is what we're about. That's why we ask people to support us on Patreon. Yep. But once again, even if we had billions of dollars at our disposal and a big old bully pulpit, we would have a devil of a time getting this in. We don't have that. But still, it's difficult because once the people that have the power and control, they don't want to give it up.
Not for a second.
Those movies you see about this, they're correct.
You have a basis in fact, reality.
That's reality. That's the reality of the business. And of course, then you have all kinds of people. Really, what they want is the power and control, and it corrupts them. So I don't know. I don't know the answer. I don't have the answer to that.
We do not have the answer.
You will hear our mantra. Well, I'll just go show the two lines to somebody.
That really is our answer, folks. That's the answer that we have.
We do. We just show it. We don't have other answers. Now, to do it quick, you say, well, how could I do that? I don't have an hour. I can do it in 90 seconds.
An hour.
I got a point. How do you work with people? Oh, I have this cool diagram. I work with people. I don't say anything about command and control.
No.
I got to
try to change the system or any of that stuff.
No, I say it's got your five senses up at the top, your mind's at the bottom. The feeling of satisfaction's over to the right. feeling of relief is over to the left. That's those two lines form 4 quadrants. And then I ask people that I work with, either an individual or a team, like, who's important to you? That's what we start with. We have a discussion about who's important to you. Then we go over and we talk about the yucky stuff that shows up inside of
Over
our,
there.
like fear of dogs or something, that kind of thing. Now, notice, folks, when I said fear of dogs, I was literally thinking of talking to like a principal of a school.
Yep.
They won't balk at that. Oh yeah, I know people that are afraid of dogs. Boom. They know that. They understand that, right? Relief moves. Well, you run away. You do stuff like that. You do. We go to the upper left, and in the upper right, it's about behaviors we do to move closer to those who are important to us. So we talk about that. And administrator goes, man, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
That's a nice discussion to have with somebody. Oh yeah, it absolutely is. And then we add this thing called noticing in at the end. And that is, as any human, we can notice ourselves. And so in this case, you notice who's important to you, and you notice yucky stuff showing up in you, and you notice yourself getting relief, and you notice yourself getting satisfaction, and then you just notice all of that stuff. And that's how I work with people. And they go, cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't know how long that took.
Oh, that took about 4 minutes.
No, it wasn't 4 minutes. There's no way. I can do it. It's fast. It's that quick. Everybody thinks you got to do, not everybody, but a lot of people get this impression that it takes a long time to introduce the point of view.
It's too much work.
Right. And it doesn't. You can just roll it out like that. If you practice, you can roll it out. And now I can deliver it to Biden. I can deliver it to Trump. I can deliver it to Kevin McCarthy. I don't care who I deliver it to. Name any politician, whether you like them or don't like
Fill in
them.
the blank.
Don't matter to me.
Yeah.
They give me half a chance, I'm going to show it to them. Just like that. Matter of factly. No big deal. I'm not trying to change the world or nothing. Actually, I am, but, I'm stealthy.
Yeah. Putin needs it. I would show it to him, too, if we had a chance.
Abuse. Can this be called an abuse? Can this what I'm doing?
No. That was way back. The last one is Putin needs it, is what stops.
Oh, I don't have much power.
Yeah.
First, I'd have to get power in order to abuse it.
Yeah. Oh. Here's power for you. Years ago, I had a young boy that I showed it to go into the school, and he showed it to his teachers, just like Kevin did.
Yeah, I remember that.
No one told him to. He just decided it was a cool thing to do.
Exactly. And I go, oh, cool.
That's right. Exactly what they liked it. They said they liked it.
So, here, think of it, folks, from our point of view. If we could get 3 billion people or 4 billion people or so to show the Matrix to folks.
Right.
And everybody went, oh, well, that's pretty cool. But we just changed the world.
That would be what we call an effect.
That would be a big change. Really. That would be it. And nobody's tried to take control of anybody. They just showed somebody a way of looking at themselves that involves taking into account who's important to you, accepting that you got yucky stuff that shows up.
Like we all do.
Noticing that you do relief moves.
Do stuff to get rid of it.
Notice that you do satisfaction stuff, and that you can notice all this stuff. And somebody might say, "Oh, gee, what's the first thing I do?" Oh, what we do is we think about who's important to us.
Bingo.
And boom, you've introduced the opposite of command and control.
Yes.
Because that is a collaborative way of talking with people.
Back and forth.
That's a back and forth.
Bi-directional.
That's collaborative, not command and control. But if I walk in and say, I've got something to replace your command and control, I'm dead.
Yeah. We're going to do something different than we usually do today. That's another trap.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Why did Phil and I say that? Because we've been there, done that.
Oh yeah,
Uh, we, no.
that's setting you up. You're setting yourself up.
Yeah. So you don't want to set yourself up for resistance. We call it in English that it's matter of fact.
Right.
Just this is just the way we do things. No big deal. It's no big deal. Then some people might come along and say, "Oh my God, this matrix thing is so wonderful. It's such a big deal." And Bill's my witness. I'll go, not so big.
Yeah.
I was,
Just a point of view.
It's just a point of view. It's just a way of looking at things. But is it totally different than command and control? Yes. So back to our topic. This is the kind of collaborative environment that you actually need in schools if you want to start to decrease the level of mental illness in schools. Because school is a major place, a major part of the social structure of any child.
Everybody comes together. It's the vast melting pot where people come together that wouldn't normally come together.
Exactly. And it's just major. It's a major, and of course, kids show up and they get judged, and they get judged by each other, and it's just a mess. It's just a mess. And that comes. People say, "Oh, those rich schools, they must do better." Oh no, they don't.
Oh, I've worked with a few of them. Troubles abound. Troubles are across the board
because they really judge each other.
Oh man.
That's what the Mean Girls or whatever.
Yeah. Pressure cooker places.
Yep. Pressure cooker places that are just awful. Why? Judging that stems from a command and control structure. So I don't think probably the military is not a good place to have collaborative decision making. Okay.
And you don't want it in the military.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's not workable in the military.
I'm very much a peacenik, but that don't make sense to me.
No.
Yes.
But
schools, yes.
Whole different mission, folks.
Right.
Because now we're going to talk about, well, really what we're talking about here is, well, what's a school for?
Right. Oh, you forgot, Phil. It's for producing obedient factory workers.
Darn. That's right.
That's what it's for.
I skipped over that part.
So, folks, remember that the current system is created to produce obedient factory workers. That's what it was designed to do 100 years ago. Plus, that's what it was meant for. End of story.
And it has not changed much since.
And it really, because that was a fundamental philosophy that was inserted into it over 100 years ago, all kinds of stuff has changed on the surface.
Oh, yeah.
But the underlying philosophy has remained the same. It's like the United States is built on the Declaration of Independence and republic, democracy, that kind of stuff. And that, for better or worse, it keeps going because that's the fundamental structure that the thing is built on. Well, schools were built on command and control, produce really good factory workers. So now you've got this place, they're supposed to be creating creative souls. No, that's not what's going on. And No Child Left Behind, which I'm sure that was good intentions, but the road to Hades is paved with good intentions.
Well, I thought that was the idea all along, is to not leave any child behind. I don't know why they had to.
Well, now they're just leaving them behind in the road.
It's blatant.
Right, and this teaching to the test and all this is just insane. But once you see it on the ground level, if you work with teachers and students and parents the way we do, is that you see that so many of the children are labeled. They're labeled as bad. They're not labeled as good. They're labeled as bad. Trouble.
If they're not fitting in between those lines, right?
All the way to you need to take them to your pediatrician to get an evaluation.
Who, of course, is an educational expert.
Which, by the way, friggin' don't. pediatricians are not education experts, folks.
No.
They are
They're
not.
medical experts, definitely.
They are not trained to do that.
Your child's sick, you take them to the pediatrician. Definitely.
Don't think about behavioral issues. Which, think of it, your creative minds, the ones that don't fit in the box by definition, because they're creative, they're just naturally creative. They're the ones that are going to get the worst out of that.
Oh yeah. Well, you're making me think, Kevin. You just described the basic 3-year-old, naturally creative.
So crush that.
Yep.
And that's what
they go in naturally creative, and they come out head down.
Yeah, just, and then all those years later, when they got some, in quotes, mental health problem, they're going, well, we better go get a counselor and fix that. Fix the frickin' schools. And I don't mean give them more audio-visual gear. No, stop with the command and control crap. Go for cooperation. By the way, the answer is easy. Stick a matrix up at the front of the classroom. The teacher says, second loop of the matrix says, what? You do the first loop and ask the kids who's important to them.
You did that.
Yeah,
let's say you did that. Now,
they'll tell you. They just say, okay, kids, what's our shared purpose here? What are we here to do?
Now there's a question. What are we here for?
What are we here for? What are we here to do, children? Now, I admit, with the kindergartners and such, it'll be a little while about herding cats, but eventually they'll arrive at something. And it'll have to do with, drum roll, school, learning something. They're not idiots. They know they need to learn something.
And they know they don't know everything, even though they act like it.
Right. And they'll do just fine.
Yeah.
And the teacher will do just fine, and they'll figure it out. And they will continually come back to that question, what's our shared purpose? What's our collaborative purpose? How can we work together to make this happen? And that's not what goes on now, folks. That is not. It is not. Now, you say, I can find a classroom that runs that way. I'm sure you can. But they are by no means the majority of classrooms. Most of them.
No. They're not. They are definitely.
Most of them do not run on that model.
There are little islands out there.
Do what the teacher says. And if you don't do what the teacher says, then do your homework and get it in on time. All that command and control stuff, then the kid's going to get in trouble, and they're going to get labeled and diagnosed, and they got ADHD and bipolar disorder and blah 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 blah. And here we go. When you say, Kevin, where do you get that? You know how many children, or at least 16, 17-year-olds I've seen diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar disorder that don't have it? There's no way. I'm a clinical psychologist. Phil's a master's
Same here.
Psychologist.
Came to me all the time.
We know what that looks like.
Yep.
They ain't got it. Why the hell are they being labeled that? What's going on? It's the system. They're not fitting in the system. And if you don't get in the system, they're going to give you a major league problem. And then call in the behavioral analyst, right? Get them to fix that.
Right. We'll get some stuff going there.
Yeah, that's also the Band-Aids.
Yep.
Which is basically you come in and make this kid cooperate with us, in the command and control structure.
Fix the child.
Fix the child. Make them fit into our command.
This one is not like the others. How can we get this one cooking? And if not, then we'll put that one over there with some other ones that are like him or her.
Well, then you get sent to the special school.
Right.
Any advice for those of us out there who are after this little item to try to shelter kids from command and control and try to system of section? Stick the matrix up on the board.
Fast as you can.
And play it hard. Yeah. Keep it that way. And when the big wigs show up, say, look at this really cool thing we got going. And just keep your head down and keep a hold of it.
Yep.
Keep your little island. Absolutely.
And then things will start to happen, Sarah. Just a little side story. I have a colleague of mine who I work with and train with, and she recently began working in a new building. So she started showing the matrix. She's a school counselor to the students. And the students would come out of her session and they would go and tell other students, and they would tell their teachers about this cool matrix thing. So where she's at right now, the students are actually bringing the matrix out and sharing it with other students, and the word is getting out that way.
Right.
But it all comes down to just what Kevin said when we started doing it. Show it to someone.
That's it.
That's the simple act.
So by definition, we can't have somebody in power to force people to do it.
They're not going to do it.
They won't do it. And even if they did, they just fell in the command and control trap.
They don't get co-opted.
And we don't want anybody falling into the command and control trap. We don't want us falling into it.
And we don't want people using it, falling into it. That's not what we're here to try to do.
No. Now, fortunately, the command and control folks can't get it to work for them because it automatically does collaboration.
Yep.
It's like asking a gasoline engine to do something other than being a gasoline engine. It won't. It's just going to run the way they do, and that's
runs on gas. That's what it runs on.
That's the way the Matrix does.
Yeah.
You fire it up, and it collaborates. That's what it does.
Every single time you show it to someone.
Right. So the command and control freaks can't use it for anything much. And I've seen them tried, but they don't. They just give up because it's collaborative. So what we're teaching is collaboration. That's our biggie.
Yeah.
And
So Sarah, for you could go in and you could show your high school kids. You could say, "Hey, let me show you something that someone just showed me yesterday. Is it okay if I show you?"
That's it.
Boom.
Bill's done it hundreds of times.
Yeah, just like that.
Always low key. Like, take a look at this.
Yep.
It's like show and tell.
Yeah. Show and tell in school all the time. Everybody does. Hey, let me show you this cool thing I learned.
Right. You just pop it out there and just show it. And I'm low key about it.
Yeah, always.
Always low key.
They're free to do it. They're free to not do it. If someone says they don't want to do it.
Well, and it's like, is it going to fix stuff? No, I don't think so.
No, that's not the point.
That's not the point. Now, there is a point. It's collaboration.
Yeah.
That's what it really is. The point.
You and I are engaging in something.
Right. We're engaging. Now, here's what happens. Byproducts. If you get people cooperating with each other,
and engaging and curious and interested.
Right. Curious, interested.
All of that shows up when you do this.
Then they get more psychologically flexible.
Yep.
Boom. 2, they feel safe.
Yeah.
And wanted.
That's the key. What Kevin just said, they feel wanted.
My opinion is wanted. Even with kindergartners, if you set this up and do it enough, they'll finally get the idea, or they'll know. They'll know.
They'll feel it in here.
Oh, what my input is wanted. Wow. Yeah. And they may not know that on a intellectual.
They're feeling it. I'm being cared about. I feel respected. All that.
So the main thing is that we want them to feel wanted. And a quote from what's that community psychologist guy?
Edward Albee.
I'll quote from Albee. Basically, the problems that we see, especially of the school shooting variety kind of students, that's the not wanted.
Yeah.
Look at any newspaper report about them.
Read their histories.
In their histories and stuff. They felt on a deep down level they were not wanted.
They were disconnected.
Not wanted. And think of yourself. Think in your heart of hearts if you were not wanted.
Do you want to be in a place where you're not wanted?
And you constantly get the message that you're not wanted. You're not wanted here. Now, I'm using Black folks, Afro-American, I finally got it. Asian folks, lots of people in our country can tell you about the feeling not wanted. Okay. But believe it or not, this happens to lily white kids in even affluent high schools.
Oh yeah.
They go there and they end up feeling not wanted, and they do really bad things,
Yep.
like mentally ill, and some.
Well, they rebel, they resist, they withdraw, they escape, they avoid.
Right. So, I mean, don't do the not wanted thing to any other human.
Not cool.
Not cool. It is not cool to do the not wanted thing because it leads to problems, lots of problems, major problems. So that's the fix. It's just not an easy fix. And so we just show the matrix a lot.
Yeah.
Our grand experiment. Let's see if we can get millions of people showing the matrix to folks and see what happens. I don't know what'll happen.
Well, one of the things I know that does happen that is very obvious to me all these years is that when you show the matrix to somebody, you're being kind to them.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's true.
You're being
Well,
kind.
that's on an
You're treating
interpersonal
someone with
level.
kindness.
Yeah, you're showing people a kindness.
You generally want to show them something. You would like them to look at it with you. You're looking at it together.
Do a kindness. So that's our message. It's on YouTube this time, so hopefully a few people will.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, check it out.
And so next time you hear about some bad thing, bad kid out of a school, bad event out of a school, forget about it, folks. It's because it's a horrible command and control structure. And somehow, some way out there in the future, we got to stop doing that with schools. It's killing kids and teachers.
Literally, yes.
Literally
and teachers.
Right. It's killing them. Literally, and it's killing them. Right.
Yeah.
And the ones it's not killing, it's making them really ill.
Oh, very much so.
And a few are going, hey, we're the cool. We're accepted. We're wanted. We feel great. Yay, this is wonderful. And the problem is that's a minority.
Yeah.
That's a minority that are that.
Everybody else is ducking and covering and just looking to get through as best they can.
Right. They don't feel wanted.
Yep.
So maybe that's our message from the Matrix. It's a way of setting things up so that people feel wanted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now with those words, a lot of people say, hey, Kevin, go to heck. I don't want others to feel wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. You're that kind of person. But if you're the kind of person who wants other people to feel wanted, do the Matrix.
Do this.
It's cool. That's our big message.
Yep.
We want that. And my gosh, if we got the vast majority of people, students, let's stick with students, feeling wanted, my goodness, I'm betting you would see a really, really, really big change for the better in schools.
Well, I can attest to the fact that when I worked in schools and I worked with a lot of kids who had all but given up on school, that what we're talking about, we practice what we preach. So what I always did, my first move with all of these students when they came to our program was, hey, is it okay if I show you my point of view? And these were kids that had really all but given up on coming to school, absentee problems, on the road to dropping out, and early pregnancy, and you name it, all kind of bad stuff. And I can honestly say that when we started to do the Matrix with them in that particular environment, they all began to feel like, okay, so this feels different. And they couldn't even put their finger on it, but they would say to me after, that first it felt different. Something felt different about this place. And I think they weren't able to use the word wanted, but I think that's what a lot of them felt when they first came to our program, is they felt that wantedness. Because we started with what's important to you, who's important to you.
And we would, what the one girl tell you, the devil was important?
Oh, yeah, she said that Satan was important to her.
Satan was important to her. Phil goes, cool.
I said, okay, I wrote it down on the board.
Right. He didn't cast her out because of that. He said, cool. Wrote it down.
Yeah.
Wanted. Wanted. I want what you have to say. I want it.
Wanted doesn't mean we agree or we're all on the same page. It's like, yeah, I get it. Okay, I get it.
No. So anyway, there you go. So next time we're gradually, what we hope happens is in the schools is that we gradually, or maybe not so gradually, transform them away from command and control centers into collaboration centers. Summed up, command and control leads to a lot of people not feeling wanted, and that results in a whole lot of problems.
Crushes self-esteem, increases
Collaboration
mental health,
leads to a whole lot of people feeling
all
wanted,
different outcome.
and you get a whole lot less problems. We have seen this in schools,
Yeah.
in classrooms and places. We have seen that occur, and
Yeah.
you do get a happier lot of people.
Oh yeah, you're setting a context for what we like to call productive learning. People coming in, wanting to learn, interested in learning, and wanting to learn more, as opposed to, oh no, here we go again, or oh gee, is this going to be on the test?
Yeah. Don't I just love those tests?
Oh man,
No, they're bad. Literally, if you want to, I don't use that word often, but they're bad. They're designed to make the people who do the tests money.
very lucrative.
It's very lucrative. Makes a lot of millions of dollars for a testing industry. Doesn't do the kids one iota of bit of good. Not a bit. So there you go, folks. We're going to replace command and control with cooperation. One way of doing that is showing people the matrix diagram. If you can do it other ways, great. Do
Yep.
that. But forevermore, the newspaper articles can be very simple. The problem in schools is the command and control structure that has existed for decades, and we need to change that.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Not for the students.
Not for the teachers.
Because they don't feel wanted either. So that's why we said it's not the teacher's fault. It's the underlying command and control structure. That's the problem.
All trapped in the same system.
And by the way, the current people who are the commanders in that system, is not their fault, because the system started decades.
Oh yeah, but I've talked to many administrators.
Long before
Their hands are tied too.
Right. Long before they were ever born, this system started running.
Yeah.
They just graduate college and get in, and they end up in these systems. They may like it, they might not, I don't know, but that's the system. Fundamentally, we need to get off of that. The answer to it, I have no idea. So we just show people the matrix. We wear T-shirts of it around.
We wear T-shirts. We draw these two cross lines everywhere we go.
We just show it to a lot of people. And we hope you show it to a lot. And hopefully, if you want to support us doing it, click on the green button below.
Give it a shot. Nothing bad ever happens.
Yeah. Look, give us $10 a month and you'll help us.
Yep.
Do this. This is how we do it. But we have fun at it. We like collaboration. We really do. Here we go. We did it. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll be back.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.